So, what do you think? I'm going to wear these over Halloween weekend. Do you want a pair?
I don't know. Devil horns? I mean, is that really appropriate? Especially here in the store. I mean, I don't want customers to get the wrong idea.
Hey, if they don't like us celebrating Satan, they can rent videos somewhere else.
No. I'm more concerned that they might think we take Satan lightly. Like he's a cartoon character, not the true Prince of Darkness who commands our respect.
So that's a no on the horns.
Welcome to Rewind Video. I'm Bob.
I'm Rob.
And we love movies. Good ones, bad ones, old ones, new ones, heavenly films, hellacious watches, and everything in between. Rob, I hate to do this on the show, but I've got a bone to pick with you once more.
Okay. I mean, this doesn't seem like the time or place, but go ahead.
Well, you know. I've been looking back at the rental records, and it seems that you have signed off on some rentals to a particular customer with some very specific tastes.
Is his name Bedazzled?
Well, according to, if I'm reading the computer right, it seems to be Lucy Fur. Yeah. In any case, this person has rented the movie Little Nicky 148 times. They've checked out all 4 copies of The Devil's Advocate at once, and they plucked Dogma from the shelf right after you put it up last week and have yet to return it.
Why am I getting blamed for this?
Well, I mean, it seemed to happen on your watch. I don't know who was at the counter, but you were on the shift every time these rentals went out. So, I mean, I'm not here to pass judgment or make assumptions.
When we start an account, people give their name and contact information and credit card number. I hope you're running Lucy Farr's credit card number.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes.
Yeah, don't lay this at my feet.
Okay,
I didn't create the system we have here at Rewind Video. I'm the low rung on the totem pole.
It's fair. It's fair. If I'm being totally honest, I'm more concerned with how this person might react to this week's selection of movies because, as most people know, you and I are in charge of managing the staff recommendation shelf here at Rewind Video. It's up to us to pick a rotating selection of movies deserving of our customers' attention. And each time we choose new movies, we adhere to a theme. And this week's theme is Hail Satan.
Hot damn.
Yeah.
Back again.
Yeah. So, I mean, devoted listeners know that this is the only holiday we celebrate on the show.
Yeah.
And every Halloween season, we tend to pick a theme related to spooky things. We've done blood, we've done monsters, but in our first season, we did Hail Satan. Mm-hmm. And you had the bright idea that we ought to just go back to that and then continue to always do it this time of year.
There are plenty of movies in the Satan realm that we can bring up on this show year after year after year. And yeah, Satan is he's kind of the mascot of the show.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, every show that we do is for Satan in some ways. So we might as well once a year actually do it for Satan.
Yeah. I mean, I can attest that after browsing the movies that may fit this theme this time around, we've got several episodes that can still happen.
And as our customers will see as we go through here, we can interpret, the Hail Satan thing in many different ways. And so these aren't just like satanic horror movies necessarily.
Yeah,
I know we have a little bit of that.
I don't feel like we're reaching even like close to the bottom of the well. I mean,
no, we could just do satanic horror movies and do this for years. But I think we only have one horror movie tonight?
I think so. Yeah, which is exciting.
Yes. Which goes to show, we celebrate Halloween in the sense, we don't care about the trick-or-treating or the costumes. We celebrate it in the sense of, watch scary movies and celebrate the Lord of Darkness.
Right. Yeah. Maybe not even in that order. Maybe it's more the first one and then great. Well, as we always do, you're going to get us started, and I'm pretty excited to talk about your first movie.
Oh, great.
This was not anywhere on my radar, and what a treat it was. I don't want to spoil anything, but
this was actually maybe the movie that prompted me to suggest that we do the Hail Satan topic over and over again.
It's funny because this could also fit another theme that we did. It might have been our second episode, the Breaking the Fourth Wall episode.
Definitely could.
For sure.
I think I heard about this from Letterboxd even. You know, I don't think this is a movie I'd never heard of until within the last year.
Yep.
Stumbled across it on Letterboxd. It's called Hellzapoppin from 1941.
It's a long time ago.
Very long time ago. This is filed under The Slippery Slope to Satan. Here's the back of the box. Olsen and Johnson, a pair of stage comedians, try to turn their play into a movie and bring together a young couple in love while breaking the fourth wall every step of the way. Tagline, it's a 1941 tagline. It's, At last it's on the screen, greater than the stage show.
I mean, that definitely explains some important context to why this movie's relevant.
Mm-hmm. But this is Hellzapoppin. It's based on a live show from the 30s of the same name, and it was at the time what was called a revue, which is it's a variety show. It's got comedy sketches, music, dancing, probably juggling or something. But it was kind of like in between what we think of as variety shows today and vaudeville.
Right.
You know, it was kind of the step in between. And they're all pretty similar, but it was slightly different. And the stars were two guys named Ole Olsen and Chick Johnson. And they were just known as Olsen and Johnson. And they started out as a vaudeville duo. One would play the piano, the other would play the fiddle, and they would just be like goofy they didn't have a straight man. They would just be two goofy dudes playing instruments, and they kind of worked their way up through the vaudeville world. And they were within a different review called Monkey Business. And it was a Hellzapoppin. It was about two guys trying to put an act together within this other variety show. And it kind of just got built out as like these guys trying to like do this whole show. And eventually they had their own show where they're bringing in musicians and comedians to like fill out the story. And the whole thing is just about them trying to do the show. And the whole thing is broken fourth wall. Comedy is like there's a lot of like they're coming into the audience.
Yes.
People planted in the audience would like argue with people on stage. They would do comedy bits, like one with a guy in a straitjacket, and he'd be like, he's going to get out of the straitjacket, right? And he's on stage, and the joke is he can't get out, right? And he keeps coming out, can't get out of the straitjacket. But then as the audience is leaving the show, he would be like on the floor of the lobby, like trying to like rolling around, trying to get, like he still can't get out of the straitjacket, you know? Like it was really like this interactive show. And so the whole movie, you know, they basically took that idea and like really leaned into the metatextual element of it. And we're like, okay, Olsen and Johnson are trying to take this show and turn it into a movie. And that's what the movie is about. You know, even to the point where the guys in the movie are yelling at the projectionist, who is Shemp from Three Stooges. You know, they're just constantly talking about the script and like how we can't make this into a movie. It's not possible, right? And Satan doesn't play a huge part in this.
No, but
it does kick the story off. It starts off as a standard Hollywood musical with like a big like set piece with dancers and whatever, and then the floor drops out and everyone falls down into hell. And then Olsen and Johnson show up and they start doing a couple bits with Satan. And that's when we find out that we're not actually watching the show, we're watching them trying to put on the show. You know, so Satan is like there for a minute. There's demons. I don't know if any of them are actually Satan. There's lots of little Satans. Let's call them little Satans. Multiple
that's
Satans.
Fair. That's fair.
But they're definitely in hell.
Yes.
But then they go away, and then we don't really return to hell. So, you know, Satan gets us kicked off, but it's not what the movie's about.
Yeah, he plays an important role, though, and I mean, as he does in everything.
Yeah.
And no, I don't know that it needs to be a major part in the movie for it to fit the theme. This absolutely works.
Absolutely. So this is a great example of a comedy that's just still funny after 85 years.
Yes.
Is that right? 85?
Yes.
I mean, we've talked before about how like, maybe comedy doesn't age so well. And I think some of it doesn't, but I think some action movies don't age well either.
True.
So I think I'm coming around to the fact that like sometimes just great comedy is great comedy. And this movie is funny as fuck.
Yes.
This is, I didn't, watching this, I was like, I didn't realize they did like airplane style stuff back in the 40s, you know? Like that's what this is. This is a Zucker style spoof movie.
That's a great comparison.
You know, they go from like scene to scene and they're just like parodying and doing spoofs of things that I don't even recognize, you know?
Right.
But I can tell that they're doing a spoof of something and it's funny because these people are funny and the writing is funny and the script is hilarious.
Yeah.
You know? And it's just so fast to the point where it's like, I don't even know if I can keep up with this, which makes it so fun. It's just this chaotic energy, right?
Yes.
I do think the weak point of this is the musical numbers, you know? Like, you know, this was a different time. And I think just like the idea of a show, like a live show, like we got to have singing and dancing and stuff. And like, there's some songs in here that I think my problem is like, they're not funny.
Right.
Right? Like you're making a comedy and like everything else in this movie is so outrageous. But for some reason, they're like, we're just going to play these songs like pretty much straight. Like there's a couple jokes in there.
Yeah.
And they're pushing along a plot that is absurd. But the songs themselves are just songs and they're not funny. And like, I don't know, they kind of drag the movie down just a little bit. I think they do serve to like let you catch your breath a little because like it is so fast.
I also think that for the time, and especially within this genre, you needed that. That's what audiences wanted. They expected it, and they needed to be authentic, genuine songs rather than spoofs or anything like that. So, yeah, I agree. But it is, by today's standards, a little bit jarring.
Yeah, it's not my favorite part, but it's like it's not too much to like get over. There is one musical section that's a jazz song by some jazz duo called Slim and Slam. And that's a really cool thing. I like that style of music, and like they're just kind of like playing some jazz. But then it's connected to this dancing sequence that is fucking outrageous.
Yeah.
It's just like this wildest fucking dancing, and it seems like it's like the Lindy Hop, right? Like which is like this acrobatic form of swing dancing, and they're jumping around. But I had never seen anything like, because this seems
neither had I.
Dangerous,
yes.
right? And even like after watching this movie, I looked up that kind of dancing on YouTube, and I'm like, I gotta see like, is this like the way they do it? And like, I could not find anything that was this like just wild.
Acrobat, yeah.
I thought, I really was like, I'm not sure this counts as dancing. It's so dangerous. Like this might be just acrobatics, right?
Yeah.
But it was really fun to watch, even though it wasn't like funny. So Hellzapoppin, it is rated 4.0 on Letterboxd. 74 people have in their 4 favorites. Don't think it's a movie a lot of people know exists.
No, I certainly didn't.
It is on YouTube if you want to look it up.
Yeah.
32% agree with my 4-star rating, including the River Jordan, who said, "The necessity of narratives in cinema is a plot devised by Satan." So I'm starting us off by putting Hellzapoppin on the staff recommendation shelf for the topic of Hail Satan 2025.
I'm glad you did. You know, I think the closest parallels that you could connect to from this era would be like Abbott and Costello and Laurel and Hardy, but you made a good point by saying that neither of these guys play the straight man, and that gives their humor a very distinct quality that's ownable to them. And in my opinion, is part of why this is still funny today, whereas I look at some of the other duos from that time period, and I don't know if it holds up quite as well, but these guys are great, and I had never heard of them.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
So yeah, check it out. This is an awesome movie and a little dose of Satan.
Yes, well done. I'm with you on this. 4 stars.
Excellent.
All right, so I'm going to the Good Intentions Hellish Branding section of the store for my first pick for the Hail Satan category, and the movie I've chosen is Hail Satan?
Question mark?
I don't even know why the question mark's there.
I think I know why it's there.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. Yeah, I think I can probably connect those dots. So, back of the box synopsis for Hail Satan is the story of the Satanic Temple, a controversial movement that combines religion and activism with the apparent purpose of questioning the basic foundations of U.S. society. Tagline is phenomenal. The devil's work is never done.
Yes.
So this is a documentary chronicling the rise of
Satan?
the Satanic Temple. Yeah. It's directed by Penny Lane, and I would say as funny as it is thought-provoking, there's definitely some funny stuff here, but
Yeah.
it also really challenges some important things that are happening in especially American society. Yeah. And yeah, it chronicles the Satanic Temple's rise from like a cheeky protest movement to its establishment as a quote unquote legitimate religious organization, which it is. And yeah, we get some colorful cast members, but the main guy who is the mouthpiece for the temple is the co-founder Lucian Greaves, and he's been there from the inception and kind of became the figurehead for the temple. But yeah, this definitely has a playful tone, but it's also connecting back to some deeply serious issues of religious freedom, equality, civic engagement. Obvious fit for the theme. Yeah. I don't know that it takes too much explanation literally about Satan, but I think the movie does a good job of explaining that Satan, by its religious definition, isn't really at the heart of what this movement is about.
Yeah, we talked about it on our last Hail Satan episode several years ago.
Yeah.
About one of the movies, but like the way that the satanic church quote churches deal with Satan, like they don't actually believe in Satan as a deity or as a figure.
Yeah.
It's more of an idea, and I guess and they get to this in the movie. They have a hard time explaining it in that sense because so many people think of religion as, oh, then there's the God at the top that runs everything. Yeah. and then there's
underground
priests underneath him.
Yeah.
That, and then
it's
this hierarchical structure or whatever. But Satanism is no, we reject all of that and that's our religion.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's, they're essentially representing Satan as a mirror to Christian privilege and, especially in the public sphere where it's become more and more prominent. They do a good job of taking us through the attempt to incorporate or bring the Baphomet statue to government grounds as an answer to Ten Commandments monuments or, fighting for bodily autonomy, which is certainly an important cause. And yeah, the use of Satan by this group is both symbolic and strategic. It's not,
but also because that's the nature of Satanism, right? Like the idea of when we say Hail Satan, what we're really saying is like fuck your system or whatever. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And the fact that it's kind of like this big game of kayfabe, which is what all religion is. It's like as long as we stick together and we don't admit that this thing isn't real, as long as we are on the same page and keep pretending. So it's because who the fucking, how do you define a religion, right? Right. And so they're like, well, that's our religion, is just Hail Satan.
I mean, it's about reclaiming an icon of rebellion to challenge authoritarian control, which is about as satanic and American as you can get. Yes. And that's an important mission of this group.
And the fact that it makes people so mad in such certain ways is so funny. Because it's you're not even understanding what anybody, the idea of Satan as the opposite of God is like a fairly new invention too. It's not like, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. It's just like, that's not what Christianity's about, you know?
Yeah.
Jesus didn't say like, look out for the red guy in the dirt, you know what I mean? Like, that's not what it's about. It's this thing that was created to help people control you with Christianity.
Yeah, 100%. And this movie does a great job of explaining that. It was filmed over 2 years, very much as the rise of the temple was happening. And Lucien Greaves had, fully cooperated with the production, but insisted on no creative input whatsoever, which I think is wonderful.
That's so on brand for Satan.
He wanted journalistic independence, which, bravo, fantastic. So, we see as this unfolds, the temple gaining international recognition, and I think this helped propel it even further. It started as a very grassroots movement and became truly an international organization. But yeah, why did I choose this? I think that it encapsulates what the Temple of Satan actually stands for, and that's not goat sacrifices or black masses, but reason, compassion, and accountability. The point in this movie where they talk about the 7 tenets that the religion stands for is it's eye-opening, and I challenge any normal person to disagree with any of the things that this group actually holds true.
But all you have to do is you have to say like you take these 7 rules that seem very open-minded and fair and rational, and then you call it Satanism, and everyone's like, no.
Yeah.
And then it just points out the hypocrisy of the whole fucking thing.
Yeah. They interview a lot of people that are part of this group, and with the exception of one person, I would say that everyone here is really likable and articulate, often hilarious, curious. Yeah. They're the people that should be in charge of stuff.
Right.
And unfortunately aren't.
It's because they're against the idea of people being in charge of stuff.
Yeah. I think it's a reminder that if you're going to align yourself with a religion, you could do far worse than one that's grounded in science, empathy, and satire.
Right.
So this was a modest success for a documentary. It grossed around $430,000, but found a really wide audience on streaming and social media. Averages a 3.7 on Letterboxd, with the vast majority of users netting out at 4 stars, which is where I have it. 33% agree with my rating. 20 people have this on their on their list of 4 favorites. And I plucked a review from Zach Blonded, who said, I think Satan was blushing and saying, "Oh, you guys," while this was all happening.
He's definitely a fan of their work.
Yeah. So for my first pick for our Hail Satan 2025 episode, I am choosing Hail Satan?
Hail Satan?
Yeah.
I also have this at 4 stars.
Oh, nice.
Fan of the project.
Yeah.
A huge fan of Satan.
Love the work. Yeah.
This movie's fun.
Yeah.
Curious where I'm curious. I'm sure this group has been up to more stuff in the last 5 or 6 years since this came out. I'm curious where they're at.
Me too. I mean, I know that they have not abandoned their cause, especially as it relates to political efforts and fighting back against 10 Commandments being erected on state grounds. But yeah, it leaves you wanting more. You'd love to know what they've got up their sleeves these days.
Hail Satan 2. Bring it back. Okay. I am going to take us to 1999, one of our favorite years here at the Staff Recommendation
Shelf.
Shelf.
Such a good year.
I think this is our 15th, by my count, 15th 1999 movie on the Staff Recommendation Shelf.
And we've only scratched the surface.
Only scratched the surface.
Yeah.
The movie is South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. This is filed under Satan Sings. Here's the back of the box. In this feature film, based on the hit animated series, the third graders of South Park sneak into an R-rated film by ultra-vulgar Canadian television personalities Terrence and Phillip, and emerge with expanded vocabularies that leave their parents and teachers scandalized. When outraged Americans try to censor the film, the controversy spirals into a call to wage war on Canada and Terrence and Philip end up on death row with the kids their only hope of rescue. Ridiculous plot.
Yeah.
We would never go to war with Canada.
No, never.
Tagline, uh-oh.
That's phenomenal.
It's too good. So this is, yes, the feature-length version of Trey Parker and Matt Stone's TV series South Park, which at the time in 99 was a pretty new phenomenon. It came out in 98. And so I guess part of the deal when they signed with Comedy Central was that they would basically get a movie financed.
Yeah.
Which was weird because like they weren't like big stars. So like it was a hot property,
Seemed
I guess.
like a gamble-ish.
Seemed like a gamble. Like
Yeah.
they did that short that bounced around for a while that this is based on.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I guess Comedy Central was just like, sure, we'll make a movie. We'll spend $50 million on your TV show and movie without the first episode ever being on. But it was a big hit. And like Paramount was like, well, we got to make a movie right now because we don't know how long this is going to be popular.
Right. It could be a flash in the pan.
Could be a flash in the pan.
Yeah.
And here we are 27 years later. So part of the contract to make the movie is they insisted that they be allowed to make an R-rated movie, and they definitely do. It actually kept getting hit with NC-17 because of language, which come on,
shit.
right? Like I think because it's a cartoon. You know what I mean? I think if it's people saying this, I don't think that it comes off as dirty.
No.
Because, like, what could they possibly have been saying in the NC-17 version?
I don't know. But, I mean, the MPAA is notoriously hypocritical when it comes to how they rate things. And it doesn't surprise me that they had a controversial approach to giving this a rating.
I don't know if they still do this, but this was back in the age when, like, when you had these sort of issues, you would also put in a bunch of stuff that you didn't want to keep in the movie, but it was like horrible.
Right.
So it would give you something to take out and be like, oh, look, like it's an R-rated movie now.
We cut this out. Cut that out.
Of course, the studio didn't want an R-rated movie, but it was in the contract. But it was still a hit. I think it made like $80 million worldwide. Because this was, again, like South Park was just huge for like, because like it's been around. It was never as big as it was in like 98 to like 2002. In that era. Like
That's fair.
The first 5 years, it was like a genuine phenomenon.
Yeah.
So the way this fits the theme is the Mothers Against Canada decide to execute these Canadian movie stars. And if their blood is spilled on American soil, that is the sign of the apocalypse. It means the world war to end the world is starting. And that will allow Satan to come to Earth and gain dominion over his kingdom.
How about that?
Along with his boyfriend Saddam Hussein.
Right.
This is between the two Iraq wars, and so it was kind of weird. It felt kind of weird to have Saddam Hussein because it had been a couple years since the first Iraq war, and like everyone's like, "Well, we know who this is, but why
is he still relevant?"
Yeah, but why is he in your movie? Because like nobody was thinking about Saddam Hussein except I guess Dick Cheney was probably thinking about Saddam Hussein.
Yeah.
But I would say this is a fairly refreshing depiction of Satan.
Yes.
He's evil, but he's also sensitive.
Yeah.
You know, and he's got a really good singing voice. Saddam doesn't treat him well. He eventually finds his power in his relationship, but this is not a Satan that we're used to seeing. But it is nice to see this version of Satan, as opposed to Hellzapoppin. I think the songs in this are fantastic,
bangers.
So good.
Yeah.
Trey Parker was just meant to do this.
Mm-hmm.
This is his second musical of his on the shelf after Cannibal.
Yep.
I don't think he's really. I'm actually not that familiar with South Park, the TV show. I pop in and out over the years, and I know that they do a lot of musical stuff there, but I've never really like kept up with it.
Yeah. I can probably count on one hand how many episodes of South Park I've watched from start to finish, which I know is blasphemous to some people, but you know, it's a Hail Satan episode. So.
Yeah. Yeah, but I was never like a huge fan of the show. Even like when this movie came out, like I don't think at like the point that it was super popular, I was like, I don't even know if I had watched it or like not really, maybe a couple times.
This was my first watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of this movie?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I appreciate it. I appreciate South Park and everything that they're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
I just,
Dude, I mean, there's some things you're just like, how can I keep up with everything, right?
Exactly.
And South Park was also one of those things that was like, I might get around to it. And then I was like, oh wait, there's like 30 seasons. Like, I don't think I'm getting around to that.
No.
So, but yeah, the songs are funny. They move the story along. Like, I just think they're musically tremendous. Even you don't like musicals. Even you like them. There's 5 or 6 bangers in this that I'll listen to the soundtrack. I don't care. And the humor in this, like, it holds up way more than I would have thought. Like, I used to watch this movie a lot, but it had probably been at least 10 years since I'd seen it.
Yeah.
It's still vulgar, but like the satire is pretty sharp, I'd say.
Yes.
It's really funny. Like, it's 80 minutes long, and so like it doesn't wear out its welcome at all, which is nice.
That is certainly true.
Like, I think maybe it might get a little grating after like 90 minutes of South Park, But also, like, the story here is way too relevant than it should be.
Oh my God.
Way more relevant than I want it to be.
Yeah, who would have thought that that we'd be in 2025? This would be maybe more relevant than it was.
Yeah, right. Like, because the mothers of against Canada, they decide that it's Canada's fault that we're in moral decline.
Yeah.
And so they create this fake problem, and then they get this militarized police force to go and round up all the Canadians. And then eventually we end up doing a public execution to like an enthusiastic crowd.
Yeah.
And it's Canada too, which makes it even weirder. It's just like, I guess it's like when you do a good satire though, like it's going to always be relevant. Because that shit is always true.
And it's funny because I went into this, and forgive me if what I'm about to say shows my ignorance as it relates to South Park, but my perception was always that at some point the show turned a corner and very much focused on creating timely episodes that had something to do with what was happening in the world. And because they were making them literally like a week in advance, they could be more timely than most shows like this. And
they still do that, I think.
Oh, more than ever. I mean, yes. But I went in thinking to myself, well, how much could this really fit the South Park mold? Because it's a feature film. Obviously, those take more time to do. It can't really be relevant to the times. And lo and behold, it's more relevant to 2025 than it was back in the day.
I think kind of their timeliness. And again, like I'm not like I don't know the show that well, but I think because they're doing shows like the week of, and so you're like they're doing jokes about people or things that are relevant to the moment. But I think because the show never really like takes a point of view or a position on things, that like sometimes that stuff is more evergreen because like they're not saying like, oh, this guy is, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like they're kind of like Saddam Hussein's, having a relationship with Satan. Like that's kind of like a timely, Saddam Hussein, he's this figure, but like they're not really taking a position other than the fact that like he's the kind of guy that would be like an asshole to Satan.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Of course.
So like it is kind of timely, I guess, in a sense, but I think that's kind of how the show is. It's like, they're taking people that are in the news this week and they're kind of doing their own jokes about it. But that's always been one of my complaints about Trey Parker and things he does is like he doesn't really take like a position or like even like it never takes a strong point of view.
Yeah.
In some of his movies. But then I look back at this, I'm like, it didn't need more of a point of view, right?
No.
Like it said everything it needed to say, and here we are 25 years later going like, that's what it needed to say.
Maybe it's that the point of view just isn't quite as overt.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would say that based on the handful of episodes I've seen recently, and those are the ones that I've watched, especially, they're obviously related to more current events. There is a pretty overt position, but it was maybe a little bit more subdued back then. But there's still something. This is still something being said.
South Park, bigger, longer, and Uncut is 3.8 on Letterboxd. 2,800 people have it in their 4 favorites. 16% agree with my 5-star rating.
Ooh.
I I had this at 4. I rated it 4. And then I sat with it for a couple days. I was like, it really is one of my favorite movies.
It's the year of you revisiting star rating.
I found a user who agrees with my 5-star rating. His name is Oliver Gould, and he says, Satan and Saddam Hussein are a couple made in heaven.
Well said, well said.
So I'm putting South Park, one of the best movie musicals of all time, on the staff recommendation shelf this week for the topic of Hail Satan 2025.
It's 4 stars for me, but it was my first viewing.
Fantastic. So, I can't believe you hadn't seen this before. I'm glad you got around to it.
Yeah, no, it took hailing Satan to give me a reason to watch.
Thank you, Satan.
Thank you, Satan, for all that you do. All right, my second pick, plucked from the whatever you exercise, I can exercise better section of the store. And my second movie is The Antichrist from 1974. I say The Antichrist because there is a Lars von Trier movie called Antichrist, which I did not pluck very intentionally.
Thank you.
Yes. Here's the back of the box. After a traumatic accident leaves her paralyzed, Ippolita undergoes experimental hypnosis to uncover repressed childhood memories. But instead of healing, she awakens something sinister buried deep within her psyche, an ancient evil that possesses her body and mind. As her family and priests attempt to save her, the line between spiritual torment and psychological breakdown blurs into pure blasphemous madness.
Okay.
That sums it up. Yeah. Tagline here, deliver her from evil. So this is my second time watching this. Each time I've watched this, the subtitles have kicked in and out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know if you had that experience.
I didn't.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so I am foggy on some of the details, especially as it relates to the beginning of the movie. It's usually like two-thirds, the second two-thirds of the movie that I get the subtitles for, but they're sporadic at the beginning. This is directed by Alberto Di Martino, and it's Italy's unapologetic answer to The Exorcist.
Yeah. They mix in just like a little bit of Rosemary's Baby.
Just a bit. This was released a year after The Exorcist, and of course The Exorcist was making waves here in America, and everyone was eager to kind of ride that wave or capitalize on it in some capacity. In Italy, no exception, and this was their answer. This ramps up the sacrilege and sexual deviance and some of the surreal imagery to some operatic levels, but for all intents and purposes, it's doing a lot of the same things as The Exorcist. But this, as you pointed out at the beginning of the episode, is our lone horror movie of the week, and I don't know. I mean, it's a bit wacky. I mean,
in the sense that it's an Italian exorcist movie.
Yeah.
You know, but which would be wacky,
right?
But beyond that, like it's exactly as wacky as you would think it would be.
Yeah, I mean, if you have any familiarity with the movies coming out of that country at the time, or this brand of horror, I think you know what to expect. But it certainly revels in chaos. The devil isn't so much of an external force here as it is kind of like a primal human instinct bubbling to the surface that's summoned, so to speak. But that...
Yeah, well, I mean, she bangs Satan.
She does bang Satan. Yeah, she does. And that made this film uniquely blasphemous for its time, especially in Italy. I mean, American audiences had a hard time with The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Italian audiences really didn't know what to make of it.
They're not saying that banging Satan's a good thing, though.
No. But I think that just the stranglehold that Christianity had on the country just made this a bit of a hard pill to swallow. This was, like I said, Exorcist was breaking a lot of records. This was originally marketed as The Tempter to avoid direct comparison to The Exorcist, though that's exactly what it was. And the film was produced by Dino De Laurentiis, who later made Flash Gordon and Dune. So he's no stranger to big spectacle on film, and we certainly get some grand, overblown nonsense here. Ennio Morricone provides the score, and there's a lot of practical effects here. There's a lot of very shoddy special effects, but some of them practical, and we get some like contorted body movements, some sexualized possession scenes, ritualistic hallucinations, banned in several European countries, heavily censored, mostly for blasphemy and explicit content. Why did I choose this? I think that it's just a rollicking good time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit more. Has more pace to it than The Exorcist, I guess.
Yeah.
It is a little trashier, which makes it a little bit more fun in that way.
I agree. I mean, I think that The Exorcist certainly has a reputation, but when you go back and rewatch it, it's a little bit slow moving, and I mean,
which is fine.
Yeah,
it's a different speed.
I love The Exorcist, a lot of respect for it, but it's I think maintained its place in the zeitgeist more for just how bold it was for when it was released than for what it is as a movie.
It's a good movie, but it's not a trashy horror movie.
Right.
But this is more of a trashy horror movie.
This is a trashy horror movie. This takes everything The Exorcist did and kind of turns it up to 11. Gorier, hornier, far more blasphemous. Almost as if Italy decided that too far was just the right distance. There was a reviewer named Kim Newman who described this as what happens when Catholic guilt meets Italian melodrama and no one hits the brakes, which I thought was funny. This has developed a bit of a cult following since then. It averages a 3.2 on Letterboxd. I have this at 3 stars. I think this is just a rock solid 3-star.
Yeah, me too.
Italian horror movie from the 70s.
Friday night popcorn horror movie. Yes. Actually, like a late Friday night popcorn horror movie.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's definitely an audience for this, though. There's probably people out there that would be like 4 or 5 stars. Mm-hmm. I think that if you're the type of person who watched The Exorcist and thought, what was all the fuss about? This is probably for you. What I found interesting, now, 28% of users agree with our 3-star rating. There are 3 people that have this on their list of 4 favorites.
Okay.
2 of those people have movies in their 4 favorites that I've recommended for the staff recommendation shelf, including Midsommar, Amelie, and Phenomena.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
on brand.
Yeah. I hope they're listening because
probably we have a lot of listeners.
We do have a lot of listeners. I plucked a review from a guy named French Jew Wave. Who said 3.5 stars for the scene where the lady eats a goat's ass during a forest devil orgy. Which definitely happens in this movie.
I think I blacked that out. I don't remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I saw a different version.
Well, it's there. The Antichrist going up on the shelf for my second Hail Satan 2025 pick.
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
Okay, I'm going to bring us up to the year of 2006. And the movie is The Devil Wears Prada.
Oh! Well, I mean, the devil's got to
wear something.
Sort. Yeah, got to wear something.
This is filed under Satan's Whiplash. Here's the back of the box. Andy moves to New York to work in the fashion industry. Her boss is extremely demanding, cruel, and won't let her succeed if she doesn't fit into the high-class, elegant look of their magazine. Tagline, meet Andy Sachs. 1 million girls would kill to have her job. She's not one of them. It's,
1 million girls would kill to have her job. She's not one of them.
You're right.
Come on now. just fucking make it shorter.
You don't have a delete button
Yeah,
at your
yeah,
tagline writing company.
Yeah.
So this is a kind of an adult coming of age story about Anne Hathaway, who she doesn't move to New York to work in the fashion industry.
No.
She moves to New York to become a journalist, and then she settles for an assistant's job at a fashion magazine.
Yeah, back in the
because
box,
she
people.
can't get another job. That's what happens.
Right.
Her boss is played by Meryl Streep, and she's kind of like the queen bee of fashion. And she's based on Anna Wintour, who is the lead of Vogue magazine for years, maybe still around. I have no idea. So like, I guess Vogue is like so important in the world of fashion, and at least in the past it was, where it's like, if you're the managing editor of Vogue, you pretty much dictate what people wear, what is considered good fashion and what's considered bad fashion, etc.
Right.
And she's not a great boss to work for.
No.
Like she's one of those people, like the people that work for her, her assistants, have to kind of guess what she's talking about or wants because she speaks vaguely and you're not allowed to ask follow-up questions. Her entire operation is catered around her like momentary whims, and she kind of just everything has to be like in front of her, ready to go at all times. Basically, just like the worst boss ever.
Right.
Anne Hathaway is on call 24/7, like literally 24/7. She's expected to solve problems like hurricanes that she can't even do anything about.
Yeah.
So we don't get the literal devil in this movie. But she is kind of the boss from hell,
Right. Right.
She is the worst. She's, even if she's not as evil as some people in the actual world are, within her position at a magazine, she is a tyrant. I can't even, like, she does things in this movie. Like, I can't imagine treating people like this,
Right.
And this is even before, like, we went through the last, like, 5+ years or whatever, where we were reckoned with a little bit of that, where it's like, oh, you can't just act this way at work,
Yeah.
But even back then, it was like, well, you can't, you shouldn't be doing this.
Right,
Like,
right.
You're not doing anybody.
Still too far.
Yeah, you're not doing anybody any favors
Yeah.
either. Like this is not an effective way to get people to do their jobs,
Yeah.
And so, like, for a lot of people, their boss kind of is the closest thing you get to Satan in your life.
Right.
In that sense. This is a great New York movie.
Oh, phenomenal.
It's not like 70s New York. It's a different New York, but it's like less than 20 years ago. So it's basically what Manhattan is like today.
Yeah, but I still think there's something about it that's not the same as the New York that we live in, or at least the New York that we're exposed to when we're up there. I mean, I don't know. Just it doesn't feel quite modern in terms of like what New York might be like.
I guess because
today.
there's not people on their phones. There's like people like crossing the street just staring at their phones.
Right.
But tons of like walking down the street shots, like on location New York shots, always welcome. Tons of great fashion if that's your thing.
Yeah.
Lots of makeovers, new outfits in every scene, bags, hats, jackets. That's not really why I watch a movie necessarily, but like I can see why that's very appealing in this movie. I gotta say, like, the boyfriend character in this he's the totally worst.
Yeah.
Like, he serves no purpose.
None.
It's just like this forced, like, romantic subplot. He's a lame boyfriend. There's nothing cool about him.
No.
He doesn't even, like, create any drama.
He doesn't need to be in the movie.
No. They also have this other, like, romantic subplot with that, like, fancy writer guy. And, like, that also doesn't need to be in the movie. This movie's not about that,
Yeah.
And
It's going to be the work dynamic.
This was based on a book, and I didn't read the book. But, like, it seems like, I don't know, maybe this is in the book, but it seems like that's stuff that they're like, we got to make this a romantic comedy. And so a studio head came in and like, make a boyfriend character. And now she likes this guy,
Right.
And they had to stick the stuff in. But like, you could take that stuff completely out of the movie and it'd be way better.
I agree.
Instantly.
I agree.
There's no purpose for any of it. It's a workplace comedy. That's what I want to see. I want to see people working in a creative industry doing creative stuff and putting out a magazine, and they have the worst boss ever. Like that's what this movie's about.
There's enough entertainment there.
Yeah. There's that monologue about the cerulean blue sweater, right?
Yeah.
And like that's the thing that is always like pointed to in this movie is like some sort of like, I don't know, kind of like a justification for the fashion industry, where it's like, oh, well, like these people that are making these decisions, eventually those make their way down to like regular people, and like it creates industries and it makes money for people, and this is what people wear or whatever. And like, and I'm like, yeah, you could interpret it that way, but also like you'd be wearing something anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like if Meryl Streep on her way to work that day had a different flavor of coffee, maybe she would have picked a different shade of blue.
Right.
And what would be different about the world? Fucking nothing.
Nothing.
Right? Like, like some people would be wearing a slightly different colored shirt.
Yeah.
Like you aren't that important. Like you are important in the world you have built up.
Right.
Where everybody agrees that you're important. But like in reality, it's like I'm wearing a gray sweatshirt right now. Like it could be blue, it could be green, but like it doesn't really affect my life.
Could be a slightly different gray.
Yeah, or maybe it's like a slightly slimmer cut or wider, whatever. But like, yeah, like, yes, we all have to just buy the clothes that are available. But like, it doesn't mean that the people that made the decisions at Vogue magazine are that important to my life. No. Like how many people made decisions before Meryl Streep decided on that shade of blue, right? Lots of people.
Yeah.
And then after she did that, tons of people, like a lot of people wear that shade of blue because, the manager at Walmart pushed that rack to, you know what I mean? Like, like there's all kinds of decisions, and no one says like, oh, the manager at that Walmart in, Biloxi, Mississippi is like a fashion genius. No, she just pushed the rack and put the sweaters on sale,
Yeah, we've talked about fashion before, especially fashion today in 2025, and how hard to define I think it is. And
well, there is no like fashion of the times anymore.
No. And that I couldn't help but to wonder as I was watching this, what would this movie be like if it were made today? And ultimately, this isn't as much about its commentary on fashion as it is the workplace dynamic. Yeah. But I mean, they do a lot to foist the POV on fashion into this, and you can't help but to wonder.
That,
yeah. But no, the workplace dynamic is really what's at the heart of this.
Absolutely. So The Devil Wears Prada, it's at 3.8 on Letterboxd. 52,000 people have it in their 4 favorites.
Wow.
Well, this is a popular movie. I mean, I think for a certain generation, like this, like especially for people who do like outfits and stuff, like watching people change outfits every 5 minutes and walking on the streets of New York, like I can see why this would be like, if I was a 15-year-old girl in 2006, this would be a 5-star movie for me, probably, right? Yeah. Like this would be like if I saw it at the right moment or whatever.
Oh yeah, it checks every box.
Absolutely. 15% agree with my 3-star rating because I'm not a 15-year-old girl, including Nick Hick 98, who said, "My eating disorder got a boner watching this." So I'm putting this on the shelf for Hail Satan 2025.
So I think an unsung hero of this movie is Emily Blunt. Her character is phenomenal. And love every minute that she's on screen.
That was the relationship I actually cared about.
Yeah.
Was Anne Hathaway and Emily Blunt.
Yes.
Because like they're both like on the same side, but they're still butting heads,
Right. So which is, I mean, a genuine workplace dynamic.
Yeah.
Especially among people who want the same thing for themselves down the road.
There's also a great reveal at the end where we realize that Meryl Streep has been whiplashing her the whole time. She got me.
So, Rob, I have this at 4 stars.
Wow.
And, boy, I want it to be a 5-star movie for me. It won't be. I have too many problems with this. You've mentioned a few of them, especially as it relates to the rom-com elements. But there's a lot about this that I love. I mean, Anne Hathaway's great. Meryl Streep, never not great.
Yeah.
And so perfect for this role. I think other women could have played this part, but she nails it, and there's a lot that works. I'll never turn down an opportunity to watch this.
I agree. I think it's kind of like a hangout movie in that sense.
100%.
But it hasn't reached that level for me yet. I've only seen it a couple times.
Okay. Well, great pick. I was eager to go back to this. Still holds up for me. And that brings us to our final movie for Hail Satan 2025. And for this, I went to the bro, how are you not even going to try to fuck Satan section of the store? I plucked...
Talk to the Antichrist.
Right, yeah, talk to the Antichrist. I plucked Bedazzled from 2000, not the 1967 movie, but the 2000 movie. So here's the back of the box. Elliot Richards, a socially awkward IT worker, is given 7 wishes to get the girl of his dreams when he meets a very seductive Satan. The catch? His soul. Some of his wishes include being a 7-foot basketball star, a wealthy, powerful man, and a sensitive, caring guy. But as could be expected, the devil puts her own little twist on each of his fantasies. The tagline could be shorter, would be better if it was, but here it is. Meet the devil. She's given Elliot 7 wishes, but not a chance in hell.
Yeah.
I mean, I see what they were going for, but feels like a first draft.
It does.
So this is directed by Harold Ramis, who gave us Groundhog Day, Caddyshack, National Lampoon's Vacation. Yeah. And it is kind of a glossy, turn of the millennium take on the 1967 Dudley Moore British classic. And it reimagines the devil as a sexy woman, which the original movie did not give us. And it's for the era of workplace crushes, wish fulfillment fantasies, and pop culture excess. We get Brendan Fraser here. Elizabeth Hurley is the devil, and it's the film's humor is broad.
Yes, yeah,
very unmistakably early 2000s.
I would say, yeah,
yeah.
I got the impression.
Okay.
Because this movie is, he gets like the several wishes, and every time he basically turns into a different character.
Yeah.
And so it's Brendan Fraser going like, now I'm this kind of guy, and now I'm this guy with the funny face, whatever. And then it goes to like the new one, and he's got a different sort of like personality quirk or whatever. They all look different. They all act different. I was like, watching this, I was like, I would bet my car that somebody at right before Brendan Fraser came onto this, they thought they were definitely going to get Jim Carrey. Because this seems like it was like, okay, Jim Carrey just comes in and he's just a funny dude. And then the next scene, it's like, now he's a basketball player and he's funny. He's funny at that.
Oh,
and he makes, and like Brendan Fraser's not the same.
No.
But like it seemed like that's really what they were trying to do here.
Very much. I agree. And there were a couple reviews that I saw where people commented on how hard Brendan Fraser is trying here. I mean, he's giving 110%, and
it's an impossible ask. Like Jim Carrey is like the one of maybe 3 people, like him and Mike Myers, maybe some other people, but like Brendan Fraser's not the guy.
Not the guy. And this is kind of at the height of his popularity, but he's just not the guy for this role.
Yeah, you need a sketch comedy performer, basically.
Yeah, yeah. Brendan Fraser, great for The Mummy, not for this.
Yes.
So how does it fit the theme? Satan, of course, takes center stage here, but it's not the usual fire and brimstone, typical Satan that we see. Certainly not the Al Pacino brand of Satan. Elizabeth Hurley's devil
would have been really fucked up.
Oh yeah, it would have been. Elizabeth Hurley's devil trades chaos for charm and uses kind of beauty and wit to...
She's a prankster.
She is, yeah. She's definitely out there to just run Brendan Fraser's character through the ringer. And yeah, it's definitely an updated take on the classic deal with the devil myth, retooled for, capitalist wish fulfillment age. But as I mentioned, it's a remake of the 1967 film, and Harold Ramis, I don't know, he's definitely done better with comedy than he did here. But there's still some stuff that really works. Hurley's wardrobe, speaking of fashion, all designed by Dolce & Gabbana. Every scene that she's in, and even several times within a scene, she changes clothes. Had a $48 million budget, grossed about $90 million worldwide, which made it a modest success. But why did I choose this? This movie is not a masterpiece.
No. I agree with you on that.
A lot of jokes don't land. Parts of it have aged like milk. But I think Elizabeth Hurley is worth the price of admission here. She's fantastic. I think sexy, confident, smart, funny, and totally redefines what a screen devil can be. I can't remember an instance where we get a take on Satan quite like this. And that alone made it worth bringing to the shelf and revisiting. And I think that in spite of the things that don't work, there's a lot here that still makes it a fun Friday night watch.
I'd say so. Yeah, I agree. I don't think Brendan Fraser was meant to play this part, but he's fine. Like, he's fun. I don't actually I'm not sure I would want to see the Jim Carrey version of this. It would just be annoying.
Yeah.
There's a reason I didn't like the Jim Carrey movies of that era. But yeah, it's fine. It'll never be a 4-star movie for me. But it's got some moments. Yeah. It's fun to watch Elizabeth Hurley.
Very much agree. Now, I've got an interpretation of the end, which, if you haven't seen this and you're concerned about spoilers, tune out. But I'm curious how you feel.
Okay.
And this is based on some shoddy evidence, but...
As all your theories are.
Yeah. So essentially at the end of this, we see Brendan Fraser absolved of his oath with the devil, and he gets to retain his soul because his final wish was a true act of selflessness where he just wanted somebody else to be happy.
Yes.
But immediately following that, we see him riding his bike up a San Francisco hill while sitting down. He meets a person who is played by the same actress as the woman who he had a crush on. And I believe that he actually wasn't absolved of his commitment. That this is a new version of hell or this is a version of hell that he is in, and we just don't see it pan out. But Elizabeth Hurley's character is about to fuck with him.
Playing one final joke.
Yeah, one big, long final joke. Because it seems too convenient.
Maybe they should have made that movie.
I'd much rather watch that.
Finish the movie.
Yeah. It just seems strange to me that there was that clause written into the contract, and she is.
Yeah. Why would it be in there?
Yeah, she's amicable with him and cool at the very end, much like she is at the beginning of every wish, and that just tells me that there's more prank to be played.
Well, maybe Satan's cooler than a lot of people think.
I was rooting for him to realize that his crush was actually on Satan.
Yeah.
Because, the point of this movie is that he should not have been with this girl in the first place. And so who else would be a good partner for him? Clearly Elizabeth Hurley.
Yeah, I guess you got to take your shot. I kind of doubt Satan would be interested.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, like I said, I have this at 3 stars along with 60% of users. 170 people have this on their list of 4 favorites. I plucked Allie Bug's 4-star review, and she's a little higher on this than I am. She said, "This is both simultaneously terrible and a masterpiece." I think it's kind of squarely in the middle.
Yeah, I think it's right in the middle, but you know what? I respect people when they find their masterpiece like this.
Yes.
Like, if you can look at a movie and be like, this movie sucks, I love it. And you are in a good place.
Yeah. Good for you.
Good for you. I'm so happy.
Way to go. Glad you put it in writing.
Yep.
And we'll quote you on the show.
Yes.
So, quite the satanic selection of films we've got here, Rob. 6 movies, all celebrating the Prince of Darkness in different ways. The films we chose are Hellzapoppin, Hail Satan, South Park, The Antichrist, The Devil Wears Prada, and Bedazzled.
If you don't have time to stop into the store, you can always visit us 24 hours a day at rewindvideopod.com. You can also find us on Letterboxd and Blue Sky, or send us an email at rewindvideopod@gmail.com. And if you like the show, don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and recommend it to your friends who love movies.
Do we have the hailsatan@gmail.com email address?
I don't think we do.
I feel like we should try to get it.
I mean, we can try. I'm feeling it's taken.
It might.
2025.
Well, it's time to look ahead, and next week we've got a new theme on the docket. We'll be talking about property.
Oh, yeah, you're going to get owned.
Owned, indeed, yeah. I'll be the first to admit, I've got no idea what I'm going to bring to the shelf for this, which is usually the case at this time in the week, but as usual, we'll have 6 movies to recommend, and if you're looking for something to watch in the meantime, feel free to hit us up. We will see you next time.
Be kind, recommend.
Hail Satan!